Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Abrazo Football Podcast. We're back at you with another episode on a sunny April morning. Brooks, how you doing, man?
Good, man. The weather here has been amazing. So sunny April afternoon for me.
You know, sunny here. The weather's noticeably warmer. Only issue out in Utah these days is it snowed so much this season that like all the snow's melting in the spring and you can't like do any, like people's houses are getting flooded. Like our soccer season was supposed to kick off this Saturday and the fields are like just too wet to do anything. Like I went to one
Dang.
field to try to practice like the other day in my neighborhood. It was like a swamp. Like just like you're like stomping and splashing. I felt like it was in the Everglades. I was like, it's not even worth it. Like you just get dirty from running. Like all the mud flicks up on you. It's like I don't feel like dealing with
It's like
this.
British football in the 80s where
Exactly.
they had
Yeah,
no
they were like playing in
drainage.
marshes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a disaster. Like but we did. My team, we did have a practice yesterday. I was like, guys, if the fields are like this when we play, like I'm getting a red card within 10 minutes of kickoff. It's like I like when it's slick, I just like sliding at people and like amateur refs. They're just like, oh yeah, you're sliding. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
card. Oh, you're sliding again. That's a card. Like like we don't know what the rule is. It just looks dangerous. So
I had a
get them
ref be
out.
like, "Oh, your hand was on the ground." I'm like, "My hand was on the ground." Yeah, so you get a card for your hand touching the ground and leaving the ground. I'm like, "I didn't leave the ground. Like a hand touching the ground is irrelevant." But anyway, I'm
These people
interested
are crazy.
when you play in a swamp. So what cleats do you wear? Because basically, I feel like everything you have is either unreleased, hard to get, worth hundreds or thousands. So what do you play in when you're in swampy marshland like that?
Um, I honestly don't know what I would probably a old pair of Tiempos, to be honest.
Okay.
Yesterday though, I didn't care. So I did the Nike IDs for the Phantom GX or whatever they're called. I was like, I don't care. I'm playing in them.
That's
But I got two pairs though. I got two pairs. So I was like, one just like to hold on to, maybe give a kid later on. But I was like, I don't care. I'm just gonna play in them because they're not like a release. They're like just customs. So it's like no
yeah,
one
but it's
cares
still
about
fire
it.
though. Those colorways that you did were amazing. Are you 9.5? What's your shoe size?
Um, in cleats, I wear a 9.5
Okay. Okay.
typically. So I mean, well, that's the weird thing, dude. I feel like I used to wear so like just regular shoes. Like I mean, we're here for the people, and these are on the floor right here. So like a regular pair of
He
shoes,
says regular. He says
you know,
regular.
some Christmas edition Grinch Kobe sixes. That's a size 9. But
Oh
historically, when I would
wow.
go get like a pair of Mercs, I would wear a size 10. But like 2 seasons ago, I like the 10 seemed too big, so I started wearing a 9.5. But there's been times where I've gotten a 9 and it's just like too tight. Like I need like room to maneuver. What about you?
Yeah, I'm just so actually a few years ago I was always 10.5, but in the vapors I would get a 10. But the same thing happened. Like suddenly I'm now like a 9.5 or 10, mostly 9.5.
So wait, you'd get a smaller size in your
Oh
vapors than you
yeah.
would.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So because I love it to be like sock tight. If there's any like any room for my toes to move, I'm uncomfortable. Even in running shoes,
okay.
like nowadays,
You
like
like
I
them
have to
tight.
have. I like them very tight, and that's probably where a lot of my foot problems come from because my shoes have always been so tight. But I love it like that. Like I remember feeling like I'm tripping over the toe box because it was like a 10 instead of 9.5 or something. Like yeah, I have to have it very tight.
Huh. That's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
I feel like let's see, was it this Superfly I want to say it's like the Superfly sevens that I actually got in the size 9. Was it the sevens? I think it was the sevens. No, maybe it was the six. It was, remember, we were talking about this the other day off
The
camera.
wolf gray and pink ones.
No, the off-white ones. You remember you sent me the
Oh yeah,
off-white
yeah,
ones?
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
so obviously I didn't get the off-white ones, but it was that one, the Mercurial Superfly 6. So like the
In the
launch
orange,
colorway, yeah, the orange ones. I was
it's
like, I need
hot.
them. When the drop happened, they didn't have my size. They only like they didn't have 10 or 9.5. So I was like, I'll just get a 9 and see. Man, those things. destroyed my foot. I only lasted like 2.5 games, and like I tried to like wash them and like stretch them out, but like it didn't work out. So like
Uh,
they look horrible because like they like went through the wash machine and like they had like the iridescent like finish on them, and like all the sparkles like ripped off. So they just look horrible. But like they look like I played like 3 seasons of them. I played less than 3 games. They're just in a bag
that's so
somewhere.
funny.
Anyway,
No, I
all
can't. I
right.
got yeah, no. Even like those like Next Vapor percent or whatever. Like I got a
Yeah.
size, I got a 10.5, I think, in those, and I have to wear two pairs of cushion socks because
Damn.
I need them to be so. The other ones I have is smaller, but yeah, anyway,
He
not
needs it.
important.
He needs it tight.
I need
All
like a
right, man.
track
Well,
shoe.
yeah, that's crazy. I can't do it. I need space to even double sock. Like when it's cold, I need to double sock. So if there's
Uh,
not a little bit of space, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Just throwing some grip socks. I won't slip though. All right, man. Well, enough about that. Let's get into the topics of today. So first things first, let's start on a maybe this is no, this actually might not be a positive note for you, depending on how we look at it. But let's talk about a record in the Premier League in terms of goals scored in a campaign. And I mean, this probably isn't a question to anybody, but stranger things have happened in the world of football. The question is, Brooks, do you think Erling Haaland is going to break the Premier League record for goals scored in a single campaign?
yes, yes. Obviously the answer is yes. He's at 32. The record is 34 if I'm not mistaken, and he's still got 8 games left.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if he just scores a goal every other game, he
Yeah.
breaks the record.
Honestly, if he keeps up his current track record of three to a game, I mean, even two, yeah, he's gonna break that in. They're one game in hand that they have over Arsenal. So yeah, this kid is amazing.
Should this be a surprise to anybody?
I mean, now that we're nearly entire, that we're 30, 31 games through, no. But when he first came, I think that it was a surprise. And I think that what's happening now is everyone's kind of just gotten used to it. It's like, oh, he scored another two, which is kind of sad for him because it's a remarkable thing that he's doing, especially at his age, first of all. Second of all, first season in the Premier League, he came from the
Yeah.
Bundesliga, you know.
Yeah.
Third, he's playing with a Pep team that obviously they're always going to be very good, but Pep is not really the kind of guy that goes with an out and out striker. So we were all kind of like, I wonder what the plan is going to be. So it's just, I think that everything about his season is remarkable and like needs more applauding than it's even getting, and he's getting a lot of recognition, but it's incredible. So yeah, I'm surprised that he's kept going because I was kind of like, what's this dude's it's gotta stop at some point. Like Jamie Vardy's stopped.
Hmm.
Even Wayne Rooney's stopped in that season. Like there's been a lot
Yeah.
of guys that have kind of just been like, all right, the gas is out after like 10, 12 games or whatever. We're 30 games in and he's still running the show. So it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Or like teams like figure him out. They're like, okay, like this
Yeah.
guy Rooney, this guy like any of the great strikers of the Premier League, like Suarez, Drogba, Daniel Sturridge. Who else? Who did you say? Oh, Jamie Vardy. We can't believe the people's champ, Jamie Vardy. Chat get banged. But yeah, it's like the defense and the team just they're like, yo, this guy's gonna hit us over the head for 2 or 3 goals. So like, just no matter what, lock this guy down. But Erling Haaland's out here just shaking guys off. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter. Like you know what he's gonna do, and you just can't stop it. You
Yeah,
can't stop. You can't
he's
stop him.
basically Ibra in it's like Ibra but like with a team and a coach that knows how to utilize him because he's got the same build, the same like speed, the same muscle. Like this guy is so strong and he can outrun anyone. It's unbelievable to see. Though, yeah, I don't know if like we want to get too far into it right now, but did you hear what Thierry Henry said about him? I mean, he said a lot about him, so I mean,
What? Yo, I mean, was it after the Champions League game
it was
where
after
they?
yeah. Well, yeah, basically how he was like I think they asked him the question was like who's better, him or Mbappe? And essentially the answer was, when I would get frustrated with my teammates, Arsene Wenger used to pull me aside and be like, "Hey, would you make do you believe that so and so, let's say at the time Ashley Cole, can get you the ball in the same manner that Dennis Bergkamp can get you the ball in. And he's like, no, it's too different. And he's like, okay, so then why are you making the same run when different people have the ball? You need to be smarter to think, oh, it's him that has the ball now. I know that I'm going to have to do this and this to get to those positions to get the ball. And so the point that he was bringing up was like, so far, Haaland doesn't do that. And can you just imagine when he does start to do that? When he does start to be like, oh, okay, like De Bruyne, I can be literally on the bench and still he'll find me. But, maybe with, I don't know, Jack Grealish or whatever, like the story's a little bit different. So once he starts to figure out his players a little bit more and how to kind of outsmart, it's just like, it's unbelievable what could happen.
That's crazy. Yeah. So who did he say was better? Haaland?
Obviously, he said Mbappe. No, Mbappe.
Oh, okay. French gonna be French.
Yeah. I mean, there's no wrong answer currently.
That's the thing. It's like you look at one guy who's playing under Pep Guardiola on a team that's built strictly for winning games, and they figured out how to use Erling Haaland, and then you turn your attention to one Paris Saint-Germain, and that's all you really need to say it. Is you just that's all like that's one team. I mean, they're like Sergio Ramos is a superstar, but what we should talk about real quick though? I know you probably saw this rumor, speaking of PSG, about the Ashraf Hakimi drama. I guess it's not drama, but have you seen what they're saying about his current
financial
situation? Yeah, financial situation.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? Or care to elaborate for the people at home that might not know?
As I understand it,
what it is?
As I understand it, if Hakimi wants to go out, drop a couple thousand at the Louis Vuitton store, pick up some sneakers, maybe a bag. Mom, I'm at the store. These shoes are $900. This bag is $13. Can you wire me some money? So he's not. I mean, and to go back deeper, it's a very sad situation, obviously, as what's happening or what had happened and now what's continuing to happen. But his soon-to-be ex-wife was like, "All right, I'm out. I want half the money." He was like, "Bro, I don't even have the money." So, it's
money.
kind of
what money?
Yeah.
He's like, what you talking about? Money? We ain't got no money. We don't have any money. You got the money, honey.
Yeah, you're the actor. My money goes straight to my mom, which is like kind of a smart thing to do. Whoever figured that one out, but yeah, I mean the whole personal situation of the Hakimis is very sad and tragic, and not to mention the other party involved. However, yeah, evidently Hakimi does not control his own money. It goes to his mom. His mom controls it. Which is wild. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Yeah.
Yo,
that's crazy.
And then it is crazy. And I mean, this is all I can say. Like, yes, it is unfortunate, and whatever Achraf Hakimi did or didn't do in his home in north of Paris, it's a little bit crazy. But to be like, all I'm saying is like his wife. I think she's like 34 when they got married.
She's older than him quite a bit.
And I believe he was 22 at the time he got married. Okay. I feel like she probably should have known that her 22-year-old soon-to-be husband probably wasn't financially illiterate enough to be handling the tens of millions of dollars that he would be receiving. He probably signed a lot of his contracts when he was a minor. So, I don't know, who's considered a minor in France or in Spain or whatever, or like how his contracts are set up. But like a guy that young, like you just got to think this guy probably doesn't own anything because he's literally a kid. Like, I'm not knocking
he just
her for
turned
wanting
24.
a young boy.
No.
She want a young husband. That's all good. That's not a problem. I'm just saying you probably got to understand that this man doesn't own much more than the shirt he's wearing. It's
a nice shirt. It'll be a nice shirt.
It'd be a nice shirt. So I just thought I was just like, that's crazy. And like, it maybe the media spinning it. Maybe she's not even really after the money like that. Maybe she's like, you're a cheater. Maybe like you want different things and we just got to break up. And then like in the findings, they're just like, oh yeah, by the way, like this kid has nothing. Like
Yeah.
he forfeited everything. So maybe like, you know how the media is, they're just like, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
money hungry ex-wife after
Right.
everything shockingly finds out he's already, it's like, no, bro, like she also has her own money.
She's got her own. Yeah, definitely.
She has her own
Model
money. So
actor
like,
here in Spain, like very well known.
Yeah. yeah, so I'm like, it's probably not even like that all the way. It's like, she's probably just like, yeah, we're getting a divorce and, you know, like how are we going to do this?
Yeah,
You know,
so how are we
got
splitting
we
this
got
things up?
kids,
Yeah.
we got to figure this out. And it was probably like,
Yeah.
oh, well, like he doesn't have anything to his name. She's probably like, whatever, that's fine. Like, just give me custody of the kid
Right.
or kids. I don't know. Do they have one kid? Do they have two
I think
kids?
it's
I
two
don't know.
kids.
Two kids. Give me custody of the kids, and you can keep the house in Paris. We're going back to Spain. Peace.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but the moral of the story is that, I mean, the point, I guess, is that we have recently, the media has uncovered that Hakimi does not own, or like the money doesn't go to Hakimi. It goes to his mom.
And it's like, yeah. And my take was like, at first I'm like, that's shocking. And then like, I was like, actually, no, it's actually not. It's actually smart that a kid isn't allowed to like have direct access to like, let's just say 80 million.
Yeah.
Like, I read somewhere that PSG gives them 1 million euros a week.
He's on $1 million a week?
That's what I read somewhere. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, let's just even say a more normal amount, but like, yeah, even 10 million a year, like that's a lot of money for any just barely not a minor, or he's not just barely, a 22-year-old when he signed the contract person.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
But yeah, I just looked it up. It's about $1 million a month. So
Okay.
he's getting about 12 million euros a year. So that's still, I mean, second year at PSG, he was at Inter getting money. He was getting money while he was at Madrid. Like, It's not like Dortmund. Yeah, it's not like he didn't have money while he was, a kid.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else to say about that? It was just interesting the way these things happen and the way they're reported.
Obviously, just wish the best to everyone involved, the family, everyone. So, but the other thing that I wanted to bring up was that you had brought up Mbappe, how he's like in a project that changes every couple hours, and there's a new coach here and there, and like I saw a stat where it was like N'Golo Kanté has played 5 different games under 5 different managers this season. But like, I mean, that's crazy. But we got to give credit to Mbappe for being as good as he is under literally a different manager almost every single season that he's been in PSG. So
consistently the same, from Tuchel to Galtier to Punch to I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Was he there with Emery or no?
Maybe that was before his time.
Yeah, I don't remember. But anyway, always someone different.
All right. Well, moving on in other news, Brooke, so I don't know if you saw this, and let me just make sure I get this right. I believe it was in the Coppa Italia. Juventus had a match against it was the Coppa Italia semifinal, Inter versus Juventus. Apparently the Inter fans, no, excuse me, get this straight, black and white. The Juventus fans were doing the monkey noise at my man Big Rom, right? Giving him the monkey chants. And, they had gone to the ref. The ref's like, I don't know, just waves it off, whatever. Late in the game, concede a penalty. Romelu Lukaku converts the penalty and hits him with his signature celebration with the shh and the salute. He did it. That's his celebration. He's been doing it all season. Ref gives him a second yellow card. He gets ejected. Yeah, gives him a second yellow card, and he gets ejected from the game. He didn't even protest it. He was just like, shook him off and just walked off the field. And like, you can still hear the fans like during the the penalty take, they're making the monkey noises. All during the game, they were doing it. After
And
he's
you
walking
can
off,
hear
they're
it
still
on
doing it.
TV,
You
watching
could
it.
hear it. You can see it. Yeah, it's everywhere. And like Juventus is like, yeah, we have like these state of the art cameras. Like we can find the people. And like they
Bro,
found the
it's the
people, and
whole. Oh,
they're
really?
like, yeah, they're like, we're gonna give those guys like, I think they gave them like a 1 year ban from the Juventus stadium, which I'm like, that's weak. But like, that's not like, I mean, obviously we have a problem with people making monkey noises at people. Like that's obviously racist. But the crazy part to me was the ref. Like this, you like, I feel like as a ref, you should be conscious of like what players do and don't do. And like, you should know, like this is his sign,
That's a
like
celebration.
in FIFA 24, that will be his signature celebration. That like they give players their celebration, like his celebration will be that. So it's like, he does what he does every time after he scores, and you give him a card. Like you didn't give him a card last weekend. You didn't give him a card in the league. Like he's never gotten a card for this. So like, I just wanted to get your thoughts on like, and like they like made like Inter made an appeal, and they were like, yo, like this is his signature celebration. Like he wasn't trying to provoke any fans, but like even if he did try to provoke fans, like the game should have probably been abandoned or stopped. And like, if all he does is just tells the fans to be quiet, like
Yeah.
that's provoking. Like he didn't like flip him off. He didn't like grab his nuts and like shake him at him. He was just, worst case scenario, he said like, stop being racist. Like, is that worth, like, is that, so anyway, I just wanted your thoughts. That's all. Just, I feel like we missed it last week or the week before, whenever it was. But yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's a super upsetting and frustrating thing to hear because it's 2023. Romelu Lukaku has dealt with this everywhere he goes, too. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
obviously, we know that racism is still alive and rampant and awful and terrible. And this is one of the things that I mean, people talk about Italian football like is gone, it's lost, it's dead, it's in the dark ages, it's not keeping up anymore from the stadiums to their sponsors to
Yeah.
the transfer windows. They're not buying anyone. And this is one of the reasons that Italy is going to continue to suffer. Like it's not always, but oftentimes it's Italy that is doing these. I mean, it's everywhere, but
It's everywhere. But it seems like Italy gets
it's pretty bad.
more
Yeah.
bad press based off of it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So when something like this happens in England, which because it does, these
It
fans
does.
are banned for life from the stadium.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong ban here
Yeah.
in Italy. In Italy, they're giving them a 1 year ban from the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's terrible, first of all. Second of all, I just Googled Lukaku celebration. You can see Lukaku celebrations doing the same thing in a Chelsea shirt, in a Belgium shirt. So the fact that this guy doesn't know who he's reffing and his celebration is, first of all, pretty awful. That this guy he hasn't even done homework. Like, that they're supposed to know the temperaments and the celebrations and the styles of play and all this stuff of who they're reffing. But the other thing is, what's so bad about saying stop being racist? If he did, I mean, if that was how he interpreted it, there's no reason to give a yellow card. Like, there's a "Say No to Racism" banner behind you. You're probably wearing a fair play shirt as you're reffing this guy. So what are you carding him for? Even if you don't understand,
inciting violence, or he was agitating the fans. But
it's
now
awful.
that made that I had a follow-up question for you now, and I just forgot. Dang.
Well, let me know if you think about it, because
Keep going.
okay, because these are the type of things that I feel like, for as much as we can also, you could bag on any league or whatever, but England gets a lot of hate for the way that, I don't know, VAR is and this and that, but I think that they do a good job at making sure they find out who's being racist or who's throwing things or whatever, and then dealing with the correct punishments. For the most part, I don't know if maybe I've missed some things, but I feel like whenever it gets heard of, they're pretty good at finding them, and then the police are going to find them way later once they find out who the crowds were, because they all have the cameras to do this.
Yeah, they take it seriously.
They
Like,
take it
people go to
seriously.
jail in the UK for that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Like, they get made an example of.
yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
so it's sad to
Wish
see
I
that
could
happening.
remember.
It has sad to see that happening, especially at one of the more advanced clubs in Italy, because this was
Oh,
at
yeah.
Juventus, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, because Actually, I don't know. I don't remember now. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was.
I think it was,
Juventus
but
fans. Juventus down bad this season anyway.
yeah, in all sorts of ways. Yeah, but it's sad. I did not know that. I mean, and it's also upsetting because I feel like I hear nearly everything when it comes to the news about football.
Yeah.
It travels and it gets to me. And how does something as important as this, like, not make headlines, not get on, I don't know, Bleacher Report football or Goal or,
Yeah. Yeah, it
you
wasn't
know?
covered. Yeah, it wasn't covered that much. I know, like ESPN did like a segment on it,
Okay.
and then I think Talk Sport did a segment, and that was like
Okay.
the only two publications that I saw cover it. And you know those Talk Sport boys, they're like cranky. So like they were mad. This is what I was gonna say. Like basically every goal celebration could be, you know,
Inciting.
inciting the rival fans. It's like I score a goal and you know I hit him with that Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
That's upsetting. You know, if I pull up my pant leg and point to my hamstring,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yo, check it out. Yo, Ibrahimovic, you know, put the hands
Yeah.
out. You know, like what? Like it's like I scored a goal. I want you to be mad. Like I'm goading you to like try to do something
Yeah.
about. I'm flexing on you. Like it's not meant to be humble. Like no goal celebration is meant to like quell like the fears of the opposition. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
score a goal and you do this, you're saying you're my son. That's
Yeah.
that you're supposed to be upset about that. No, anyway, that's all. I'm just like if that's like their interpretation of the rule, anyone that celebrates a goal should get a yellow card.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
that's a good point
but
because like even when I mean to your point of doing the Ronaldo, like when you're playing against Ronaldo or like when Bukayo Saka does this when he's playing against Rashford, like these
what's
are
up, bro?
things that you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and it's just a part of the game. It's no, like it's not that serious. Like
No.
Marcus Rashford isn't gonna fight
No. And they're
Bukayo for
friends.
taking a celebration, you know?
Yeah.
But still, it's like, yo, bro, like I got moves too. Like you
Yeah,
got moves,
yeah.
checkmate. But
Yeah.
speaking of fighting your teammate or your friend, we got to talk about. This is turning into a drama show. We got to at least talk a little bit about what people are making it, you know, seems like might be like, you know, the scandal of the season. What's going on in Bayern Munich, Brooks?
Leroy Sane got a fat lip. but but I was shocked to hear that it was Sadio Mane because all you hear about Sadio Mane is how good of a guy he is, how level-headed he is, how much he donates. He still got the broken iPhone. And I was
Yeah.
like, I had to read it a couple times because like you said off camera, you're like, you're like Sane and Mane. Like I get them mixed up. I get them mixed up too. And so I was like,
was it
no.
Sane that punched
Yeah,
Mane?
I had to have
It
read
gotta
that
be
wrong.
Sane that punched
Yeah.
Mane.
Both of them, I love both of them. I think they're incredible players, both of them. But it was a little bit, I mean, it was very shocking to hear that Sadio Mane punched Leroy Sane.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, they put his picture of his face up in it. I mean, obviously, if you got punched in the face, you're going to have a busted up lip. It's going to be a fat lip, but it was pretty, I mean, obviously he hit him.
Yeah.
But like you said off camera, like this is somewhat normal stuff, somewhat normal behavior for teammates.
It's very normal. It's very, yeah. Like, I think what we're saying off camera is like any sports, like if you watch any sports movie, like just a Hollywood sports movie, like whether it's Remember the Titans or let's just more recently Ted Lasso, you know,
Yeah.
series on Apple TV Plus, Grid. It's just, I don't want to talk about too many American football, but just anything, even like all sports teams in the locker room, it can go down and anybody can get touched. And it's just, I feel like it's just it's just a part of the game. Like people, like, we're not even pros. Like, people on my team, like, we'll get in fights. Like, guys will be cussing other players out on the field, coming off the field, like, smashing shin guards, saying, like, you need to do better. It's like, all right, guys, break it up. Like, we're not getting paid for this. But, like, you get, what was the game? It was, it was the Man
Champions
City
League.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got smashed up by Man City. Like, I see why you might, you feel like a player didn't pull his weight. You might want to put hands on the guy. And I don't condone violence. But, I mean, to be perfectly clear, like, this happened at Bayern Munich 2 seasons ago with Goretzka and Boateng. They put hands on each other. It was a big old bust up. Like, I feel like this happens all the time. And like, most of the time you just don't hear about it. But I guess Bayern Munich, they're letting stuff out of their locker room. But like, I mean, like, people can, I feel like you can look at this two ways. You can look at it one way, like, oh, like, this is crazy. Like, they shouldn't be fighting, until you, like, put a camera in any locker room and you realize, like, them boys be fighting. But then you could also say, like, if they're fighting, that means they care. Like, do you want, like, given the choice, like, do you want guys that are, like, so passionate that they're willing to, like, go to blows? Or, like, they just gonna, like, be like, yo, yeah, you know, you want to talk, you want a Graham Potter? Meh. We'll try harder next time. Nah. I want to shake you up a little bit. You know, come grab you. You know, you might want to retaliate. I don't know. What's your thoughts? I just feel like, I'm not saying like I condone violence, but like, it's not like, it's just, it's like in hockey, like people fight. That they just allow you to fight in hockey against other people. But like, I'm like, people fight all, like, it's a physical sport where it's testosterone blowing, like people are going to fight against each other on the, like when I feel like the only thing I'll say is like, if it happens on the field, I feel like that is a disgrace. But like, if you fight somebody in the locker room or in the training field, I'm like, yo, that's just a part of the game, man. It's a part of the game. It happens. Should it happen? No. But you know, people also shouldn't go in for 2-foot slide tackles and break people's ankles. And it happens, and it's just a part of the game, and you got to deal with it. Like, it's not like breaking news, in my opinion. It's like, the only reason it might be breaking news is because it's Sadio Mane. Like you said. What, like maybe one of the nicer guys right behind N'Golo Kante, the last guy. Like, if you had everybody on the Bayern Munich team, you're like, okay, which one of these guys punched Leroy Sane in the face? Mane's the last person you're gonna pick. Who would you say punched him?
I would say Kimmich.
Either Kimmich or Goretzka, dude. Those two boys are like insane, like warrior type, like you look at Kimmich and you look at his, you're like there's a couple screws missing.
Yeah, I don't like to look at his eyes. Like, I don't like to
nuts. See. I love Kimmich though. He's nuts. He's probably a horrible person, but like, I would love to have a guy like that on the team. Like, just an absolute insane, like mental patient of a person.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I obviously don't condone violence, but these are things that happen, and I mean, it's happens so much that, like you said, is depicted in films and TV shows. It's like you see the anger even boiling up on the pitch from time to time. So yeah, I mean, you hear about training room bust ups, locker room bust ups, like, you know, Wednesday morning practice bust ups. These are kind of just, I mean, when you're competing at the highest level that you possibly can, and especially for Sadio Mane, when he specifically came to Bayern Munich to win another title and to win another Champions League. Yeah. And they were getting dismantled by one of the biggest rivals that the biggest rival that he's had in his career up until now.
The biggest rival. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, there was a lot on the line for him, both personally and professionally. And I obviously don't condone violence or hitting people, especially your teammates. But the anger with people definitely happens. I mean, it happens in a household. It's going to happen in a team. So, it was just shocking that it was Sadio Mane.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
That's so.
I even thought, I was like, well, maybe he was trying to break something up. But and then I don't know. I was like trying to rationalize it in my head.
Well, I just want to know how it went down. I just want to know what exactly happened. Like, did he like say something? Like, honestly, the way I could see it is Leroy Sane probably was like, man, your German's not even that good. You shouldn't even be here. Go back to Liverpool. They need you. Or like, I could see like Leroy Sane, like he has that chip on his shoulder, and he also played for City. So maybe it was like, him like, oh, like, you too scared? Like, I don't know. I could see like them just like Leroy Sane saying something crazy.
Okay.
Because he seems like the kind of person that would like if you look at his Instagram, he looks like he's the kind of person off the field that would say something crazy to you at the club. And then like have his bodyguard handle it for him. So I could see him saying something crazy to Sadio Mane, and Sadio Mane just snapping.
That's a good point.
Yo, get him off me. Yo, get him off me. I didn't think he was going to do it. And then, you know, you see, I like them both. I'm a fan of both players.
So I got both on and off jerseys. The field, I like them. Like, of course, Yeah. No, I like. Yeah, I mean, Leroy Sane is a cool guy. He's always got the like the latest in fashion going for him. But yeah, that's a good point. Like he does kind of seem like the guy that would say something and not be
Uh-huh.
able to defend himself because he
Yeah,
thinks
walk
that
just
you would
walk by, you
never.
say something
Yeah,
slick.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's little hair in a ponytail, walk by, you say something real slick. He probably said something about his hairline that triggered him. I'm just thinking, and Leroy Sané a bad man. That's crazy though. He probably said something extremely disrespectful as Sané just or Mane just snapped. He was on him like a pack of wolves. The whole locker room's pulling him back. Yeah, shout out to Sadio Mane.
Oh
Shout out to
my
Leroy Sané.
god,
You know what I mean? Yo.
that's funny. He said
Okay.
something about his hairline. I gotta write that
Says
down. That's gonna be
don't,
a
don't,
short.
don't, don't,
That's
don't,
gonna be a
don't.
short.
No. Mane's gonna come for me, man. Mane, don't come for me. Don't punch me in the face because I can't take it. Oh, dang. Oh, man, that's crazy. All right. Well, Brooks, we got anything else on the docket for today? Any, we just,
No, but I just have a question going back to that racism incident in Italy.
oh,
Like, I just wanted to
uh-oh.
know, like, if you feel like there's anything, obviously that ref should not ref another game, but is there
He's
anything
an
aside
idiot.
from that like uh the leagues aren't doing to curb this kind of thing? I mean, we've seen it years and years, like bananas thrown on the field and Danny Alves. That's
Yeah.
like the equivalent of getting a yellow card to Danny Alves
No,
for
that was
that.
provoked. He
That's
provoked. Yo, he
provoking, but
provoked the living life out of those people. He peeled that banana,
he
took a
said, "Let me
bite,
have this real quick."
threw it over his shoulder, and took that corner kick like it was planned. Like he needed the potassium. That was crazy. That's like one of the all-time best reactions of football history. Danny Alves already one of the greatest to ever do it. That just put him over the top. I love Danny. But so I was thinking about it. So like UEFA is like notorious for like rule enforcement, right? Like there were some gloves, like Nike had like some gloves, some goalie gloves that they put out like a few seasons ago. And the Nike check, I guess, like that went across like the top of the hand was bigger than like UEFA regulations. So when players went to play in the Champions League with those gloves for that season, and I don't know how Nike missed that, but they just had to put like tape over the Nike symbol because the logo was too big. Like, you know how it is. Like Juventus for like some seasons, like when Nike made their kits, they forgot to like put like, they had the stripes. They would forget to put like just like a block in the back. So like they had to like do like makeshift jerseys. Like you see it all the time. Like
Yeah.
shout out Footy Headlines, like all the different,
Good.
like you can just go to Footy Headlines and look at like UEFA rules and see all the times like they've made teams like change, like Inter Milan, like their away kit.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, the one that had like the Atlas on it, they made them change it. Like there's, or even like, this one, like one of my favorite Inter kits of all time. Like they didn't let them wear this in the Champions League because they were like, there's too many colors or something crazy. Like there was like, I think there was also like a Portugal jersey. No, it was the Netherlands. The Netherlands had a jersey for the 2018 World Cup. No, it was France. And it had one sleeve was red and one sleeve was blue and the body was white. And they're like, yeah, you can't do that. Like we need symmetry. Like there's no symmetry. They need So anyway, I say all that to say they enforce all these rules like crazy. But the minute somebody does something racist, they're like, ooh, like, I know we said we were gonna like call the game if this happened, but just let it go. Oh, like I know we said there's gonna be like harsh penalties for these players, but like, well, you guys think like what, a year? You want to do a year? Okay, that's fine. Like I feel like they enforce everything, but like they're like, yo, like we'll put the badge on. They're like,
Yeah.
actually, they just have like the little banner before the game, but like they don't actually do anything. They're just like, yeah, like, yeah. This doesn't really affect us,
Yeah.
and none of the, like, we can't call it the Etihad Stadium. It's Man City Stadium. We don't want to give them money unless they pay us, but like, you be racist. It's all right. We'll shake it off. We'll shake it off. So that's all. I mean, I think they should do more. And obviously they don't. I feel like I don't know why they don't care. Do they not want to alienate certain parts of the fan bases? Do they get money? Is there like back channels? Are there lobbies that are saying like, yo, like let fans express themselves however they want to? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what you asked anymore. I just know all I know is it's a mess. And I feel like the only way to like actually make change would be like, and like I know like what I think people will say is like, what I think the change should be is just like if that section right behind the goal was being racist, like that sucks. But the penalty is like whoever, like if you can find those people, like you gotta give them a lifetime ban. And then you gotta penalize the club for, not being more forthright and be like, yo, like we don't need racist fans. We don't want racist fans. We don't want you, like when you come in the stadium, like on the PA system, be like, yo, like do not be racist. Like drill it into your people's heads. So like this whole section, it's empty for the next 10 games. That's revenue that you're going to lose. And that's money you're going to, like season tickets.
That's a good point.
Season ticket holders in there, you're going to have to refund them. Like that's like, in like that, it sucks because one person can ruin it, but that would also incentivize other people. Like if you see somebody being racist next to you, you're like, yo, like I'm gonna like shut it down, or I'm gonna get you out of here before it becomes a problem, because I don't want to miss games because you're a bigot. So I think like the only way, like I feel like the best way to do is like make the player, like the other fans feel accountable, and make the club accountable to where like it hurts. So like no money and no games for everybody in that section. Like I can promise you, if I'm a season ticket holder and the guy next to me starts making monkey noises, I'm elbowing him in the mouth and telling him to shut it up, because I don't want to miss games because of you. But so that's what I think. What do you think? And I know what people are going to say. People are going to be like, yo, like if like say I'm a Milan fan and I want Inter to get penalized, I just go buy me a blue shirt, show up to the next Inter Milan game, make monkey chants, and get them in trouble. So I feel like there's an opportunity here for like some sabotage if you want it to, but like also like I also feel like no one would want to like be banned from soccer for a year just to like make another fan base. Yeah,
I'm with you on that. So I think that, I mean, yeah, definitely you're onto that. I think that first of all, like we've seen refs get fired for far less, for having a pretty bad game. So this ref should be fired. It should be made an example of. But the other thing, I think you're totally right. Like I think that they need to ban these people. Of course, ban them. Find the club. Don't let them continue to sell those seats. If it's continually coming from the same section, which I'm pretty sure it is, and you can find that out because you have the cameras these days to do that and find out who they are. Yeah. But also to your point prior, like the reason that you can't take off your shirt to celebrate anymore, they say, and maybe there's some truth to this, is because it's in some countries it's like not polite or something. It's like it's offensive. I don't know which countries those are because they've never said that, which ones. But when it all comes down to it, what you know is that what happens when you take off the shirt is they don't see Fly Emirates anymore, and they don't see Qatar Airways anymore, and they don't see the Nike sign when they're celebrating and going crazy for one of the greatest goals because that shirt is off. And these pictures are going to get snapped and snapped and snapped. Yes. So I think that
it's about the money. I never thought about that. Yeah, I get it now. Yeah, you laid that. I didn't even get that. That makes sense.
So I feel like none of this really going to change until you get people that really care less about the bottom line and more about the human life, the human aspect. Honestly, like it's things like this that make me, it's almost becoming too often now. Like at least once a month, I'm like, man, do I really want to be a part of this culture that's surfacing from like European football? I don't want to be like, whether it's allegations of something or racism or it's vandalism, and I'm just like, man, this is just something's got to get.
Yeah,
gotta
people are crazy.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll just say about the shirts off though, I don't know, like you said, I don't know what country it's impolite, because pretty much any soccer match I've been to across the globe, there are several people in the stands that are blitzed with their shirts off. Just chanting away. no shirts. I'm like, I don't know what country it is, but it's not those countries.
Yeah, it's
Because
not.
you look at the stands, they aren't wearing shirts. They show up with shirts, they leave them without shirts. Shirts
Last night,
burned down
yesterday,
to
I
the
saw the
ground.
Newcastle fan. His shirt was off, and he had NUFC tattooed on him. I was like, "This is insane!"
Jordy
I
for
had
life.
crazy. I had to rewind to make sure it was an actual tattoo and not just a marker.
That's crazy. I missed that. That's crazy though.
Yeah.
All right, Brooks. Well, before we go, let's wrap it up. But
Okay.
before we go, just let me get a prediction from you. Just in this, I hope you don't get mad about this.
No, it's okay.
How you feeling? Are Arsenal going to hold on? Technically, it's still in their hands. Can Arsenal hold on? So I just want to go through with you really quickly. Arsenal, their remaining fixtures for the season, and I want you to tell me what you think is going to happen. Okay? Are you prepared for this? So I'm just so we're just going to assume Man City wins every game here from here on out.
Okay.
So there's a 1-point deficit between Man City and Arsenal. So I'm gonna go through their fixtures, and you tell me what you think the result's gonna be.
So we're assuming that they're one game in hand, they're going to win it. Man
Yes.
City, yeah, which means that they'll be 1 point behind Arsenal.
Yes.
Which means
Okay.
Arsenal cannot even draw a game.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Friday, Arsenal, Southampton.
I mean, listen, you would think that Arsenal would easily win that game, but they can't beat Everton, who's bottom of the table. They can't beat West Ham, who was 15th. But I'm gonna say, yeah, win. They're gonna win this game. I think they're gonna come back from the sloppy form they're in and win on Friday.
Okay, a week, and then the next game after that is a midweek game on a Wednesday. Man City.
Yeah, they're not winning that. Is it at home? It's at Arsenal, right? Or is it?
It's at City.
It's at City. Yeah, they're not winning that game.
It's at City.
That's when they
Okay.
lose the league.
That's the final. That's the league final right there.
That's the league
That's
final.
the
Yeah,
league
no
final.
question. Yeah.
I hate that it's on a Wednesday though. I hate that it's on a
Yeah,
Wednesday.
why do they do that? I mean, they couldn't tell the future a year ago when they made this, but yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm not even going to be able to watch that game.
What's the date on that?
The 6th of April or the 6th of May 6th.
Oh, of the Man City game?
Yeah, Man City,
Wow.
Arsenal. Oh no, excuse me, April 26th.
You'll be here.
Excuse
No,
me.
you'll be here a couple days later, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I won't be. Yeah,
You'll be in Europe though.
yeah. I'll be. I don't even know what. Yeah, I'll be somewhere. I don't even know. I think I'll be in Iceland. Maybe I
Okay.
will be able to watch it. Maybe we'll just be like chilling. Okay. Then they got Newcastle. That would be a tough game.
That's gonna be a tough game, but I think they could beat Newcastle. They drew to them last time and should have won. I think that they'll win.
Brighton.
Man, Brighton, I'm loving what they're doing, but they have not had much of an issue with Brighton ever. So I think that they'll be able to win that game.
Chelsea.
No offense to you, but obviously
Nah.
Chelsea's not had a great season, but it's games like this that Arsenal lose. Man United could be worst in the league and they would probably still lose to Man United just because they have some mental lapse when it comes to these big six teams. But they're better this year than they've been in years past recently. Honestly, I think that'll be a tough game because Chelsea fans and Chelsea, I don't continue to see them keep doing this bad. So and they need a win and they need to start pulling their weight. So that'll be a tough game. I think to probably draw. But where is that? In London or it's obviously in London? Is it at Chelsea or Arsenal?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I already closed their schedule.
Man, I hope they can be. If they beat Chelsea and finish second, I'll still be happy if they don't continue to lose.
Okay.
No,
Well,
I want
okay,
them to
so
win,
let's
but they
just-
won't win the league.
Okay, so let's just look at now let's contrast that. So Arsenal definitively only have those 8 games left, right? They're no longer in the Europa League.
Yeah.
They're no longer in any of the cup competitions,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
You contrast that with Man City now. They got a second leg of the Bayern Munich match.
True.
They got a semifinal in the FA Cup.
Dang.
Their match against Brighton has been postponed, so they'll have another game in hand. They'll have
Jeez.
2 games in hand moving before. So ahead of the Arsenal match on the 26th, they'll have 2 games in hand. that they'll have to play, and then the rest of their season does look pretty straightforward though. West
It
Ham,
does.
Fulham, Leeds, Everton, Chelsea, Brentford.
Yeah. I mean, we all know that that City want the Champions League, and they're probably going to win the Champions League. At least I hope this is their year to win the Champions League. But they're not losing any of those games, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, like I agree. I don't see them losing. Like the only game that they could possibly, like the only, like of those games, the only two, there's three games that they could lose possibly, in my opinion. They could, there is a chance they could lose to Arsenal. They like it's probably, it's unlikely considering, you know, Arsenal's current form, but
Yeah.
they could lose to
Yeah.
Arsenal. That's a possibility. They could lose, in my opinion. They could also lose or draw or at least drop points in some way against Brighton Hove. I think that's a
Yeah.
possibility. That kid, that like, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not sure. I'll just say the guy that wears number 22. I don't know his name and I don't know where he's from, but that kid is fearless. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Google, go to Brighton and just look at their roster and look at player number 22. He's a kid. He's fearless. I mean, most of the team is fearless, but that kid, like he scares me, this kid. I should look at his name too. I don't even know what his name is. Let's see here. Wiki 22.
I don't.
Kaoru Mitoma.
Oh, Mitoma, he's Japanese.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
until right now.
He has like a
scares me.
degree in, yeah, he has like he wrote his like thesis on dribbling.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, this kid. He scares me. This
Yeah,
kid
he's
is
incredible.
he's a demon.
He's not going to be at Brighton long, I don't think.
I tell you
Someone's
that, yeah.
gonna-
Yeah, I mean, we should have went for him instead of Mudryk. What's up with the recruitment, man? This guy's the real, like, we should have got him instead of Cucurella. Like, this kid is a game changer.
They
I
got
mean,
the wrong-
there's
the
lots,
wrong
I mean, there's
Brighton.
lots of good players at Brighton though. Like,
Yeah, McAllister.
I mean, McAllister, Casado. I even like their, Lewis Dunk, the captain, their
Dunk,
defender.
yeah,
like,
man.
Dunk. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Even
Sully March.
even with all of these guys, not all of these guys, but every year they sell like their best player, and they're kind of like still like turning into to Dortmund. They're
Yeah.
able to still sustain. And that coach scares me. That coach you don't want to mess with.
Deserby, bro.
You've seen when
Deserby
the
and Psycho.
and stare you down too. If any of the opposition players do anything to him, he'll stare them down, remember what they did, and then do it to them next time, or do some nasty next time. Oh, you want the ball? Here, and he just laugh. Oh, love it.
Shout out to Deserby and the whole
Yeah.
Bright. Shout out to all the Seagulls at the AMX Stadium, you know? So anyway, all this to say, who's winning the league in your,
City.
from your, okay.
I think City. I mean, I still do think City. I was never one of those Arsenal fans that were, not to say that they were delusional, because they had every right to think they'd win the league, especially keeping it for this long. But being an Arsenal fan for so long, you know that they are better than in recent seasons at doing this, but they will let something slip up, and it's happened now 2 weeks in a row. They're letting 2-0 leads slip away.
Bro, it's just, I mean, obviously I'm not an Arsenal fan. That's just frustrating to see though. 2 games they had signed, sealed, delivered. This is where the Jose Mourinho, this is where the Jose Mourinho tactics
Yeah.
come in. Like, and I think back to like when he returned to Chelsea, and like I still remember like living in my old house in the basement, early morning, wrapped up in a blanket with the jerseys all spread out on the floor in front of the TV because I don't want any bad juju, and like watching him just like park that bus. And that ball was just pinging from side to side in the midfield, and teams were just like chasing them around, getting frustrated. No one was trying to shoot. They were going to corners, just holding the ball. Eden Hazard like ducked down, just, you know, boxing people out. And I was like, this is hard to watch, and I'm about to have a stroke. But they won those games 1-0, 2-1. And I was like, they did what they had. Like, it wasn't pretty. And like, you think back like, okay, like, it's 2-1. Let's lock this thing up and just let's just play keep away. One big game of keep away. No one needs to go into their third at this point. Just close the game out. And I'm not criticizing Mikel Arteta. I'm just saying it sucks.
No, I'm with you because when you're 2-0 but to contrast that, when you're up 2-0 in 12 minutes, within 12 minutes, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say, all right, stand back now, guard the house, park the bus. But I'm with you. Like at this point, I wish that that was a tactic that Mikel Arteta knew how to draw up. But I just think that he's so aggressive. He's so Pep-ish that it's just he's going to keep playing and he's going to keep going forward, which is admirable. And you like to see that as a soccer fan of like watching football. But you also want to win the league and you can't let these things continue to happen.
Exactly. All right. Well, I guess, TBC, to be continued. We will see. Yeah. But, all of the best. I hope Arsenal can figure it out. But, if not, second place,
Listen, I'd be happy with second place. I'd be upset they don't win the league, obviously. But after 2 eighth-place finishes, I'd be happy to see them finish second, get back in the Champions League, get some extra money spent, and try to get over the top next season. I don't know, man. I almost also feel like, though, if they don't win it this year, it's going to be another 20 years to get the chance. I'm negative. No. I'm pessimistic right now. But
no, bro, listen. Here, the reality of the situation is if they don't win it this season, they're not going to win it for a long time. Because City,
that's what I think.
City about to have it buttoned up again for another 5 years.
Yeah, you have to win it this season because City's not letting go of this.
They're not letting go, and they're signing Jude Bellingham in the summer, and probably a few other guys that play for like Valencia or Celta Vigo that, they're probably going to pillage all the best players from like the middle of the table in La Liga, guys that have ties to Catalonia, and it's going to be on again. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. There's nothing. It's like the momentum at the top. Like, I want to play for Pep Guardiola. Then you got Erling Haaland, and now his little brother, Jude Bellingham, is probably like Liverpool's already said we're not out. So it's either are you going to Real Madrid or are you going to Man City? Well, you're probably going to go play with Erling Haaland. I mean, if I was Jude Bellingham, I would go to Man City. Like, because you can't go to Real Madrid and then go to City. Like, I feel like that's moving backwards. So you go to City, then you both go to Real Madrid on freeze at some point and just keep it moving. That would actually be that would be a cool story. I hope they do that.
But I would like to see Bellingham out playing at City to start every week. I mean, he's not going to start every week. So who? Like,
well, he'll start because Ilkay Gundogan is gone. His contract is over in June.
And as a 19-year-old, do you think that would be the move that City and Pep make, is to get him right now at the current level?
If they were smart, they would get Jude Bellingham right now. I personally think like he single-handedly like destroys teams in the Bundesliga from the midfield, and Marco Reus is only there like half the time. I obviously like I'm like the biggest Jude Bellingham fan on the planet, but I think he would be great. Like, I think that would be the only move that would make sense for him. Because Madrid would want him, but like Madrid, it's different because like Luka Modric isn't going anywhere. Cruz isn't going anywhere. They got Camavinga, they got Tchouaméni, they got Valverde. Not saying that I think Jude's better than all of those guys, but that's still, you got to fight for your place.
Even?
I put Jude at the top of the list. Okay. I like all those players I just named too. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of all 5 of them. Yeah. But Ilkay Gundogan's out. He's leaving. Yeah. He's not signing an extension. I don't think they offered him an extension.
Okay.
He's going to leave on his own terms. You come in that midfield. That's it. That's a wrap. It's a good look. It's a good look for everybody. I think Pep, he'll sign the English player he signed Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an English bias.
No, plus, definitely.
Also, that's like one, he likes.
But it's just he's so young. I feel like he's so young, but nah, yeah.
So is Erling Haaland, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Yeah.
know, they were because they were both young at Dortmund, and they won a trophy at Dortmund together, and they were both teenagers, I think. That's crazy. But yeah, Jude Bellingham's like a kid, basically. Like, how old is he? 19? Is he
I think he's
is he still
19.
really 19? Yeah. It's so weird. Like he's a kid. So like, and then how old is Holland?
22, 3?
Is he that old? Yeah, he's 22. Okay, well, I mean, he's still a kid. I stand by my words. He's still a kid. I mean, he's 3 years older than Jude Bellingham, but he's still a kid. I mean, he's a kid. He's a kid. He's a kid, and he's single-handedly making men look like kids in the Premier League. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's actually a shame. This should be a crime, what he's doing in Manchester. He
I'm
should
here
be
for the records, though. I'm
booked.
I'm excited to see it.
No, dude, the way I see it, like people are like, you think back to like the Alan Shearer days when he was like scoring goals like crazy, or like you hear about like Pele or Maradona. It's like I never like I knew who these people were growing up, but like you didn't really appreciate it. And like with the latter two, I never even saw them really play like that. So it's like to see somebody like we saw Messi, we saw Ronaldo, but now to see like another generation of like guys that are going to like when Messi and Ronaldo can be like, oh, we'll never see this again. It's like, yeah, we
About
are.
to see it again.
Yeah, we're seeing it again with Erling Haaland and Mbappe, and it's just like I think like how scary like when either one of those, or even if both of them end up at Real Madrid, which I don't know, that sucks for Barcelona, but it's going to be scary. It's going
Yeah.
to be like devastating, just because like I meant like someone that can score, let's just say 40 goals in the Premier League. You
First
go to
season.
Spain,
He's
yeah,
finished 60 goals. And, he's scored 60 goals because you're playing, no offense.
yikes.
Espanyol's not going to be stopping you.
No,
Real
dude, you're getting
Sociedad's
like
not
double
going to.
hat tricks. Yeah, you're getting double hat tricks, and then like yeah. Anyway, you got anything else you want to add before we wrap this one up?
No,
All right,
it's
well,
good.
all right, guys. Well, thank you very much. We will see you in person, Brooks. We'll see you in person. Next
Can't
episode, we'll be
wait.
shooting live in Barcelona.
Perfect.
All right. Bye, guys. Peace.